Hi, welcome back to the Jansen Art Studio and to our Painting City Education channel. I'm David Jansen, and we're going to continue with some more quick compositions. Okay, let's get right into it. Again, same board, same type of thing, same medium white that we've done on a lot of the others. I like that because it's a warm, it's a light color, and I can easily make it dark and or I can make it light and I can do whatever. Let's do today. We'll do some rose, a real quick little rose composition for you, and get some other things to practice. Now these little compositions, you can put them on boxes. You can go to your local art and craft store and get some very economical picture frames, 8 by 10s and 11 by 14s, and even some of them come matted, and you can drop those in and they make lovely little gifts too. And you can put all kinds of stuff in them, but you can paint these smaller and put them on the cards, all kinds of fun things. They're just great compositions. Okay, so I'm going to be doing my 6 colors again, my phthalo, my cool red violet, warmer naphthol red light, Hansa yellow, white and black, and the extender into the center there. Nice dirty extender. And I get a lot of questions is, oh, your brushes are always dirty and your extender is always dirty. Doesn't that bother you? No, it doesn't bother me at all because the pigments that are in these paints are so powerful. A little bit of that stuff in there with the color just blows right through it, doesn't even stop it, okay? If you're using cheaper bottled acrylics, yes, that makes a difference because the tiniest little bit of pigment can affect it because those things don't have pigment in it. Okay, but the colors I use have a lot of pigment in it, doesn't affect it. Let's come in here. I have some of this medium white kind of color here, and I think I'm going to keep the background a little warmer this time. And so we're going to head into some of our whites and some of our yellows here. And so we'll do a little bit different type of background here. I'm just going to plow in some of this light color, break up some of this nice warm light here like this. And when I do small compositions like this, I like to do what I call vignette the background. That's where I do like this, where I let the background just come through and fracture out like this. It's vignetting, and it adds a lot of interest to the background. I'm going to take a little bit of green here. We'll drop this green down through and come through. We'll add a little bit of movement with our green. Now the green is, I always usually start when I do quick compositions and everything, and I do this limited palette like this with the Paint It Simply. I always start my green with my Hansa yellow and black. Hansa yellow with just a tiny bit of black will make the green. And then if you want it more green or brighter green, you can always add, just slowly sneak into the blue here. And you can see you can make it even more green if you want to get towards those blue greens and everything. I like to base everything more off of the yellow greens, but blue greens like this, since I start to head into some of those brighter greens, that's going to come right from your addition of your phthalo blue. If you want to get it more toned, just increase the phthalo blue and black and you get this darker color here. So I start out with Hansa yellow and black as my base, and then I slowly add phthalo blue if I want to go more blue-green and stuff. So I'll put some green into this composition here. Let's do some small roses this morning. Let's just say we're going to take a little bit of our warm, I'm going to take a little bit of warm naphthol red light. We'll put a little cooler red violet right over there, model those two together. And let's do a little small rose composition here. We'll put one right in here, and we'll put maybe one reaching right in here. Small rose composition right here. And we will put some other flowers out there. Maybe we'll put a little blossom right in through here. And I might want to make like a little yellow blossom. So I'll just pick up some yellow. We'll drop that down here. Now, this is going to go kind of orange and stuff. If I want to kill that orange, just reach up and grab anything that's towards its complement. Blue, blacks, but the blue, anything with blue in it, because blue and orange are complements. Any of that kind of stuff in here, just a little bit of that will kill that and tone that down to a brown. Do you see that? So anything that's close to a complement will do that, and we'll get a more toned yellow right in here. We'll make like a little yellow blossom right in there, or maybe turning right in there like that. That'll be kind of pretty. Let's open it up though, and let's make it. I always like to make part of the design, especially on quick compositions, more informal, and that you get that by putting a more blossoms and stuff like that out further. So you have an area, what we call formal design in here, and then informal push up, and that gives you a lot of motion out in quick compositions. If you get heavy right down in that center, it feels too weighted. Okay, let's go grab a brush. Let's grab this one. This is number 8. This is a number 8 flat. And that's what I do. I'll just go grab a brush because it doesn't really make a difference. I paint a lot with filberts and flats, and I rotate them back and forth in different sizes. The only thing is, a larger brush will make the painting softer. A smaller brush will give you more streaks into it. But they're all brushes. They're all tools. You got to learn to use them all. I'm not afraid. I will grab big brushes and ask myself to paint small things with it. That's good practice. Learning how to use your brush like that is good practice. Always wipe your brush with your paper towel. We're going to put a little cool shape into it. Now we're going to establish the gaze of the rose. I'm going to make this one go that way and that one go this way here. So I'm going to put the center right here. And we've seen from the other videos where I've discussed with you in design and everything in the gaze of the flowers. There's a whole thing in design on the gaze of the flowers here. And we'll establish the bowl of the rose here like that. And we'll maybe pull out just a bit to get some of that movement of the petals there. Let's put the gaze of this rose out here like this. We'll keep this one, and right there will be the center. So wherever I push that center, that's where the gaze is going to go, and we'll push that right in there like that. That'll be good. This will be a little blossom. We'll head down this way. Okay, we'll head maybe a blossom right in here. We'll keep this color, though, Dave, a little softer so that we won't pull your eye up there too much, but I do want that separation that grows up there. So here I know you can move in and out like this with your frame right from there just to kind of help shape and establish some movement to your blossom. We can establish some softer movement here to our rose, our flowers here, where we want to have softness and stuff. God, I just love to paint. I love to paint these things. It's just fun to watch them kind of slowly come to life. Now I just determine, okay, how much contrast do I want to see in this painting here? And let's drop in some more contrast here. We'll let this light come out, but we'll really kind of contrast that center dark. So I'm going to go with black and maybe even a little bit of red violet into that black to cool this dark green here. Just a little bit of red violet. Too much, go brown. And we'll put this nice dark contrasting color right in there like that. We'll move some of that in and out. Now we want to put that in here too. It's a good time when you're building flowers like this to get some of those greens in there. And we get those greens in there because we haven't decided yet how we're going to paint that flower. And if we move those greens and those flower colors across, in and out, what we call in and out painting like this, in and out of the painting this way, this will allow me to make some looks of transparency to my flowers. So I want these colors to carry back and forth like that in there. That helps me with transparency. And since I'm not sure exactly how much I'm going to do or how transparent I'm going to make something in here, I keep that possibility open by keeping some of that into those flowers. And let's just add like the little ideas of a couple of little leaves and stuff coming out. I'm going to use the chisel of the brush here and just draw out some stems that are going to come like this out to the movement to some of these other flowers, and maybe a little blossoms out there like that. Maybe there'll be a little blossom out there like that. Now that's just too level with each other here. So I'm going to shove this one down just a bit here, and we'll put a blossom right there. That's a little bit better. They're not exactly level. We'll add some nice little stems coming out here to the sides. Maybe just use your chisel, slide back and forth like that. Let what happens happen. Don't do it too many times and get out of there. And sometimes it works really easy, really fast, and sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, take some of your background color and back it in there and then try it again. But do it quick and do it powerful and get out and just let what happens happen. Too many people will play around, and that's my biggest thing. My students, and when we talk about painting and stuff, we all do it. We play too much, and so they play around too much, and then the painting becomes stiff, and you don't want to do that. So here I just want to get some nice leafing movement right here to my flowers. Get some of this movement out, get some of these leaves and stuff out. Get some movement out here like this, little touches of movement This used to always scare the heck out of me. Now I just love just to touch through like this and get some of that nice movement. And as I paint more and more and more and do hundreds of more paintings, I become a little bit better at that. And I love that even more. Now let's go in and let's work on the queen of the flower, the roses here. So I'm going to take some white. We're going to take some nice light red here. Nice light red color. And I have to determine, do I want red and pink roses? Do I want these deep red roses here? First, I'm going to start by taking just a real light color right across the top of the bowl here. And then I'm just going to pull down into the bowl shape. So the bowl shape goes like this. We have lots of videos on painting roses. And this is, you can, on the structures of the roses and stuff. So watch some of those. I use the same type of thing. I want to, get this bowl, this round part of the bowl, and here I'm just going to do it very casually, strike across and pull down, but my motion here has always got to be to establish some kind of roundness to that bowl here. And then it's just going to be, how white do I want to make this little rose here? How much light color do I want to add to that? And stroke onto that. Do I want this to be a pinky rose, or do I want it to be really, really red rose here? I'm going to establish light up onto this side, so I'm just going to push some of this light color right out here like this, maybe a bit more red into that here. Let's open this one up just a bit. If I push this dark out like this and curve like this just a bit, that opens that rose up a bit. I like that opening up and falling down there. Maybe I'll put a little bit more of a dark side. I've been doing that in the last couple of years here, more of a dark side on the roses, and I like those. We'll give it that a little bit lost color there, just a little lost. And we'll pull out just a bit here. Leave these nice casual. This is just casual and fun. We'll leave a little more red into this side here. Just the idea of that. See, and this, it's pretty. Just a little idea of the flower here. Whoa, I hit some black. That's going to be a little bit of a trouble here. Hit some black, so I'm going to neutralize that with some red here. And we'll go back into some white. And I like this white really stiff here. And I'm just going to use that just to pull into that edge there. Now we can corner into some of that and use that to draw little petals around, like here on the rose. Draw the idea of little petals around here. Just kind of corner into that and draw some of those. Let's keep that nice red violet right bowl base right in there. That's a real pretty casual little composition of that rose. Let's go grab some red. Let's drop some red right into this one. And so you can do the roses very light, or you can leave them very soft like this. And we're going to leave this one right in here, very soft into the background. Some of those reds. We'll put some leaves right up in front of it there. But just a real, maybe just a little bit of the pink into this one, so it stays. So this one will stay back behind. Maybe we'll put a leaf or so right in front of it, and so we'll make this one just as an accent or an idea back here. Just so you pick it up back here. Let's just put a little bit of red out onto those edges there. Let those be lost in and out there like that. And I love just the movement. So you can paint impressionistically if you establish the correct movement. And that's what I do. So my strokes can be any number of strokes, but they've got to show the bowl. And then these strokes have got to pull out here. And then I can leave that very impressionistic flower like that, rose, without a problem, because my strokes show the movement of it. It doesn't have to have perfect shape. It just has to have the movement of it. And I'm just going to drop that one out like that. I like that. And maybe just a touch of that out to there. That's kind of pretty. Let's work on a yellow one here. Yellow. Right back to our Hansa yellow. We'll put this edge in here. We're going to have a little blossom, so I'm going to make it a little brighter. Watching the yellow up against the red so that the yellow doesn't get any brighter than that red there. Okay. We'll build this up here. build this up, and we'll put some more whites into this and build this up here. Boom, just like that, and down, and we'll build. So I want more of the edges right in here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to collide the two edges of the rose and this little blossom, and I'll let that blossom maybe win right there because I have some nice dark on that rose, so the blossom can sit on top of that fairly easy. And then I'll let the blossom just fade away over here like that. So the blossom, most of the blossom that you'll see that actually making it a blossom is going to be right into this area here, and the rest of it fades out. Maybe we'll do a little bit of just a corner, just a little bit of cornering here, and just draw some little edges and stuff out like that. That'll give a little motion to that little blossom without getting too much. I don't want to get too much. Let's turn the edge of this blossom. In other words, if I pull down to imagine a calyx, and I'll pull some strokes here into the back here, we'll pick up some more white, pull across like this. I can make this little blossom turn. This one will keep more oval shape, so it's more of a bud that's not opened up. So we'll paint it more oval here. And this one will push in a little bit of color here. Let's open this one up a bit. We'll put, so when we open it up, we'll give it a center. Then we'll take some of that light color, stroke it right there. And you got to get the motion, whether you pull in or you pull out. You've got to establish the motion to the flower. And a good artist will establish it, sometimes pull out, sometimes pull in, so they get a different look to it, so that you don't set up the same thing all the time. Let's get a little more light to that one. Since the more light and more contrast I'm putting on it, the more it's pulling it forward. So I'm watching that as far as my overall composition here. And I want this one here to do most of the work of the three back here. So I want to work on it. Always keep those nice, see those powerful strokes, just bring it right forward. And that puts it right up in front of that one right there, really easy. And let's put its calyx on here. Let's just reestablish that. Little bit of green. Let's reestablish its calyx here. Right in there like that. There we go. Establish that around. And it's just a nice, pretty little casual. I'm going to take a little bit of that light and just push that calyx back in just a bit. That's nice. There, and that works. And I'm going to take a little bit of this lighter yellow-green here, and we'll push a lighter leaf. We have to be careful because we're working right over this wet red. And I'm just going to lightly set the brush. See, if I'm right over wet red, if I push too hard, or if you're using a brush that's not a fusion brushes are very, very soft. And I can do it. I can lay the color right on top of that red without disturbing the red. If you use a brush that is, for example, let me show you. If you use a brush that you push really hard in and you disturb the red, you'll lose the green in there and it'll be gone because the red will eat up that Hansa yellow and that green color. They're complements, they'll tone real fast, and that Hansa gets really weak around red. And so, I can just put that back in there. That's not a problem. All I have to do to put it back in there is get a softer touch. Okay, let's get a little light color in there. That white will help make that Hansa more opaque. And that'll give me a little bit of a leaf coming right in there like that. And we can get a little leaf shape right there. We can even cool this down. Let's get a little cooler green with a little bit of blue in there as well, because that just adds a lovely coloring into that as well. Pretty little color in there. Let's add that out in here a bit. There we go. And that's a nice little coloring. Very casual, pretty little composition here. Let's take the corner of our brush. I love to do this on several. Take the corner of my brush, right with a little Hansa and a little white. We'll tap that down in here. We'll put that little blossom in there. Maybe we'll add just an idea of little bits going on into the centers of the rose here. Little pollen dots or something in there. Maybe we'll see a little bit of that one and this one right back here. pull that in. I had some red on the edge of my brush. I don't worry about that. I'm just going to, that's just movement and stuff, and then I'll just come back with a little light color and soften that out to where I like that again. We'll tap a little bit of movement into that one right there, so it gets just a bit to that. I think it's kind of pretty. Let's get a little bit more lighter green color right in here, building that up. Get a nice little lighter green leaf there. We'll take some of that right out here. A little green color. Take some of that lighter green out through here. Real pretty. Then you got to decide your contrast, and you can negative paint your contrast in there, or how much you want to do as far as contrast here. And or you can just leave this as a quick little composition. This would make a lovely little top of a box, or a little card, or something, a little gift, or just a little framed painting here. It's a little quick, little 20-minute painting here. And we'll just build this up just a bit more here. Right on this edge, right in there. We'll just build that up. Let that stay soft here. Let that flower just stay soft. We'll pull out just a touch with some of that shadow. Here. There we go. Doesn't take very much. Give it just the idea of some petals there. And you can always negative paint back around and get some of those greens out like that, and then that helps that flower show up. I'll still make it sure that it's nice and soft. And I'm going to put a few strokes. I like to do this sometimes of the light color right into the background, right back through here. I like to do that just as a little bit of a bang, here's some color, out through there like that. And I picked up a little dirty red from my finger, and that's great. I'll let that happen. Just put some of those light strokes out like that. That just helps you get some of that movement there. And I'm just watching the movement here, in and out, this powerful movement through my painting, which I like these things to have, these quick little compositions to have that type of movement. So there you go. There's another quick little one. Have some fun with it. Try some different flowers. Let's get into some violet-y type of flowers, and you can use yellow flowers and you could use yellow roses and little reds and blue flowers and all that kind of stuff. Try some different things. Have some fun with them. And there's lots more for you to try. Okay, thanks for joining me. See you on these other quick compositions. Paint them, paint them, paint them. That's how you get better. See you on the other ones.